Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for the very best analysis, discussion, and debate on the game that we love, college football. Getting you set, of course, for 2018. If you prefer the audio, go to Google Play, Podbean, iTunes, or Stitcher and just search Mark Rogers TV. I've had several requests to preview the USC quarterback situation. We've had a number of guests online since the end of last season and Sam Darnold's early entry into the NFL draft to talk USC football and the quarterback situation in particular. So I've addressed this about 10 times actually. So go back, do a search on USC football, and you will see a number of contributors who have talked USC quarterback battle since the end of last season and the 24-7 loss to Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. But I will address again, because I've been asked a number of times, and again, I forget exactly who asked me, and I looked through the comments and couldn't find, but had it jotted down as another topic that I needed to hit. So this is what I've gathered. Now, keep into consideration that most of the time that I do my analysis, it is based on, yes, research that I gained from looking up facts and statistics, of course, and also some scouting reports. I don't necessarily go with other people's opinions. I will go with scouting reports if they apply from a coach or a scout, and it's real information from an expert. In this particular case, consider that I've never seen any of these guys play. They haven't played at this level. So I've never seen any of these guys, the three quarterbacks battling for this job, play at the collegiate level. So I'm going with scouting reports, and I'm going with what has been indicated based on spring practice. And again, if you look up the conversations we've had with our USC guests. So it starts with the redshirt freshman, Jack Sears. He was the fourth-rated pro-style quarterback coming out of high school, the number 13 prospect in California, number 105 nationally, according to the 247 composite. He hails from Clemente High School in California. That is the same high school that produced Sam Darnold. All right, he's got a huge upside. So I know all these USC fans are clamoring and waiting for the arrival on campus, and he's there, but he's not playing, of course, because they haven't opened actual fall camp, awaiting the arrival of one JT Daniels. Don't forget about Jack Sears in particular, just because the reports from spring practice weren't sterling. So what we've gathered, again, from the guests we've had on, from more research that I've done, is that this upside of Jack Sears is enormous. Very talented player. But in his limited time on the field with the ones and the twos, he's made very poor decisions. Poor decisions over and over and over again. But we also had Sam Darnold making some poor decisions last season, and he was the number 3 pick overall in the NFL draft. Okay, in high school, at Clemente High School, 5,500 yards passing, 2,000 rushing, and 95 total touchdowns. Jack Sears is a redshirt freshman. Therefore, he has the 1 year that he's been able to practice in addition to now spring practice and into fall camp. So he should be grasping the offense. He should be getting much more comfortable playing at this level, studying the film, getting stronger. Another note here is that all three quarterbacks are generally the same body type, the same structure and size. They're all about 6'2". And range from about 190 to 210. So the slightest of the three, probably Matt Fink. Okay, he's the redshirt sophomore. He's the only one that we've seen on the field at all. 6 of 9, 43 yards last year. Doesn't tell us a whole lot. 9 meaningless passes. But he did get loose against a few defenses on 7 rush attempts for 82 yards and a touchdown. So he was the 13th rated dual threat quarterback coming out of high school, number 54 rated player out of California, number 456 nationally. So not as highly regarded, but again, that was 2 to 3 years ago, as he is now a redshirt sophomore. So we're not going to take that too much into consideration, the recruiting rankings at this point, just letting you know coming out of high school that Sears was much higher rated as a prospect. Now, Matt Fink comes out of Glendora High School, out of Rancho Cucamonga. So many reports consider him the most athletic of the two quarterbacks, at least, that have been in camp, talking Sears and Fink. Although some people claim that Sears is the faster quarterback. and definitely as a thrower has the bigger upside. Fink showed us during the spring that he doesn't mind checking down. He'll make the intermediate throws to the slot receivers and the tight end. But in terms of going downfield, he was neither successful nor did he enjoy doing it. Didn't do it many times. Didn't take the shot when he had it. Typically would go the conservative route. Still not comfortable going downfield. All right, again, he's a little bit maybe more quick in space, and Sears the long burst and the faster runner. All right, 37 touchdown passes in 3 years. That doesn't really impress anyone. We would have to consider the style of offense and the opportunities there, but 37 touchdown passes, about less than 13 per season in 3 years in high school. And I think that plays into the dual threat mode and that he was more runner than passer than Sears in particular. All right, to the savior to be, the freshman, JT Daniels, number 2 pro-style quarterback, number 16 rated player nationally. Top 16, regardless of position, according to the 247 composite. All right, he has graduated early. He is going to be playing college football this season unless he gets redshirted, and Clay Helton is really impressed with these other 2 guys because otherwise JT Daniels is going to see the field, especially with the new redshirt rules that would allow him to play some still redshirt. Although if this guy fulfills his potential, then the redshirt is going to be null and void because he's going to be off to the NFL in 2 to 3 playing seasons. Okay. So he could be in high school this fall. That's how young he is. He's obviously way behind the other 2 in regards to being entrenched in the USC offense. But keep in mind that he's done just about everything he possibly can to work his way into the mix, to study the film, to meet with the coaches. He showed up at all the spring practices with a backpack on his back and was not able to participate, of course. But he showed up at the spring practices. Having graduated early, was there with the coaches, studying film, meeting with the coaches, trying to absorb as much as he possibly can about the USC offense. Clay Helton says a couple things here. Quote, he's a different kid, meaning not bad, good. He's different. He stands out. He's a worker. Think Peyton Manning, think Tom Brady, the sacrifices they make to become the best at their craft, willing to study, willing to be basically a professional at this level. All right, quote, another one from Clay Helton, brilliant. He's brilliant. He's going to be a star. That's what Clay Helton says. Okay, he went 15-0 at Mater Day. He was the Gatorade National Player of the Year, and listen to these numbers. Gaudy, 12,000 yards passing, 152 touchdown passes at Mater Day, which is one of the great high school football playing schools in the nation. USC is ushering a new quarterback coach, Brian Ellis, in his first year. He's only 29 years old, but he's got a great track record of working with quarterbacks, and he was a quarterback himself at UAB under current USC offensive line coach Neil Callaway. So is it Fink? Is it Sears? Is it Daniels? Well, from the scouting reports, the upside potential that Clay Helton seems to favor over necessarily completely grasping the offense. Of course, he's not going to put the most talented player out there if he has no idea what he's doing right now. But I think that would favor Sears over Fink. JT Daniels is too far behind at this point. I would expect Jack Sears to start the season. But of course, there are 2 enormous games on the road against Stanford and Texas in the first month of the season. So could we see a repeat of 2016 where Sam Darnold took over after a rough 1-2 start? He actually lost the 3rd game but played extremely well on the road at Utah in a 31-27 last-second loss, and then, of course, finished off from there, swept the board with wins and won the Rose Bowl over Penn State. We could see a situation like that, certainly, but I expect Sears, I'll say, give Sears a 50% shot of starting. Go with JT Daniels at 35% and give Matt Fink out of the gate a 15% chance of winning the quarterback battle out of August and starting in Game 1 against UNLV. My thoughts on the USC quarterback situation, please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Very Best in College Football Coverage, Discussion, Debate, and Analysis. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.